Alright, we are live. I know it's super late. So, I was just coming in here to grab a few things before I headed to bed. Um, yeah, kind of. I know I'm getting to bed late, but I don't know. Hey. And so then I was kind of looking up there and just saying, hey, I'm gonna grab a few things, and then I'm sleeping up there again, guys, just kind of talking to them. Then I looked up there and I didn't see Kwiw. I know I saw him last night, but I didn't see him today. And so I got up here and I'm like, where are you, Kwiw? So there's Kwiw. Got an inverted bread sack on. We're just going to very carefully take Kwiw out. Let's go ahead and take him to the other room and have a little quick talk here. So, um, let me just set the camera down here. And then invert the bag on him. Oops. And also, so really quickly, so I'm not super sad because I wasn't like super attached to these birds. And lately, I've actually kind of sort of been forgetting to say hi to them when I come and go. I was really good at doing that with all my birds, but lately I've just been really busy trying to push for getting YouTube projects done and whatnot, and there's been work at Dollar Tree, and it's just been busy, crazy. And so what I think happened, which honestly this is my fault, and I'm hoping it was something else, because you saw Coco's still in there. Their food is low. I haven't checked their water yet, but their food is low. It's the kind of thing where with the feeder I don't have to refill it until I think once, maybe twice. It's like once, I have to fill it up again once every 1, maybe 2 weeks. And I think what happened, because I remember checking it at least 2 days ago. And and so I checked it, and it seemed like they could still get some seed out of it, even though it was low. So I'm like, I'll wait a bit to refill it. Especially since it's a little bit awkward, because then, I have to take the thing off, fill new seed till it's just about right, and then dump the old seed back in the bottom and let it go from there. Yeah. And it's kind of a tricky process, so I was like, I think I'm gonna wait and not fill it. And then it slipped my mind, and I kind of sort of forgot because I've been so busy with other things, and it wasn't intentional. But then also I noticed that I've kind of sort of forgotten. There's one thing recently where I was supposed to do something for a friend, but I completely forgot. She hasn't said anything, but I forgot. Actually, two things, and there's longer details and reasons behind maybe why and whatnot, but I've forgotten that. And if I honestly was intending to do those things for her, but then I forgot, it makes me wonder what other things I've forgotten lately by being so busy with my own projects and whatnot, and what else am I neglecting, and what's going on. And then also, too, there's this thing where, there's a lot of habits and things we do that we don't notice. So I'm wondering if there was some way that I was saying hi to them, or I don't think I was actively saying hi to them when I came home. I would say hi to them here and there, but I don't think I was actively like checking their stuff and whatnot as actively as I should have been. And part of that's because I'm not actively interacting with them. I'm so busy that it was like just too much to take them out and spend a little bit of time with them and then put them back with all of the other stuff that I had going on. If they wanted to be with me, well, that's easy. It's just here. I'll open up the cage. You guys will fly out onto my shoulder and you can sit on my shoulder while I edit YouTube videos. But I could kind of get like, not Kwiw here that we're looking at, but I could get the white one, Coco, to do that and to sit on my shoulder. She would stay there for, I don't know, 3, maybe 5 minutes, and then usually fly off back to the top of the cage. So, I just wasn't really spending much time with them. And for smaller birds like this, it's not as big of a deal as for larger birds, especially when you have two of them. Parakeets are birds that more often than not like having other parakeets around and will enjoy each other's company. And they don't need a lot of the intellectual stimulus and whatnot that larger birds like macaws and cockatoos do. I don't have a lot of experience with them, and cockatiels are kind of sort of in the middle of that. So, well, a parakeet, this is just numbers out of a hat, but I'm going to say like the best, most playful, happiest experience a parakeet can have is 100, and just being in a cage with another bird, just eating seed and playing with toys there, which a lot of people do with parakeets. That one is probably 70% of the best experience they can have. I'm not a bird expert here. That's just numbers out of a hat. But yeah. The other thing too that I'm wondering if this might have happened, I think it might have, is I remember I used to put little reminders for myself. Like I used to have this so I used to have problems remembering to put deodorant on. And so what I did is I went on my computer and I found this funky font that typed letters out as if to make it look like they were keys on a keyboard. And I wrote out a thing that was basically just deodorant now with a bunch of exclamation marks, all caps. And I put it on the wall in my closet, and very quickly it just blended in with the wall, and I didn't even notice it. And then I did take it down, but the blend in and the not noticing was so much so that as of a couple of months ago, I went and looked in my closet to see if it was still there. Like, is that still there? Oh, no, it's not. Yeah, I totally removed it. And that when I removed it was at least 10 years ago. So, or maybe not 10 years ago, more like 5 or 6 years ago, but still it was a long time ago that I took that down. And so, I'm thinking maybe the birds just kind of sort of faded away out of sight. They are a bit noisier and whatnot, and yeah, so let's go quickly give Coco a checkup. And I'll cut the stream and fill their seed up, because can't do that with the camera unless it was mounted to something. Also, their water too. Let's check their water. I think their water's good. It might be a little bit dirty. Especially with, yeah, they've still got, whoa. Come on, focus. There we go, thank you. So, as you can see, we've got a good water level. Whoops, spilled a bit. It is. Oh, hey. It's okay, you're okay. It is a bit dirty in the bottom, but not too dirty. Honestly, that opening's like meant for bigger birds, and I think the reason I have it down there now instead of up here where it stayed cleaner is I noticed one day that Coco was squeezing out of her, slipping through the side there, like she wanted to come out and fly around and explore. And so I said, oh, can't have that happening, so I put it down there. So I don't think it's a water issue, because, I mean, if water gets dirty, birds are less likely to drink it, but I think most birds would drink the water and, they would drink it to keep alive. I don't think dirty water, because, well, maybe it is this way, but I know sometimes with birds, like, a lot of people try to switch their birds to pellets, and if they're not eating it, it's not a good idea. You can kind of leave it there for a bit, see if they maybe eat it, but ultimately some birds are starving enough to where they're saying, I'm not going to eat that, give me seed, or I'll die. I die before I eat pellets. So there's that. This is clearly low, and it is at the point where there's not a lot of gravity from other seeds helping, so it was either a food thing, or maybe something else. I'm not going to get Kiwi tested. I think I might keep the tradition going and cremate Kiwi. So let's do one thing here. Death was obviously recently. I should have filled the seeds up the first time that I saw them. Maybe he would still be here. Yeah. I'm basically gonna put him on the rocks, or I'll just stick him in a jar and put him in the freezer until I can cremate him. I'm sorry, Kiwi. Final thought that I want to say is, well, I don't think I feel super sad because I wasn't super attached to these birds. But then also, and this thing right here, this thought I'm about to say kind of depresses me for a lot of other things too, but basically there's a lot of other things going on in my life and I'm a religious person, we'll say. I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So there's some other things going on in my life that I'm working to change and stop, and some habits that I want to get out of. And the Lord has told me that I am going to soon, eventually, stop those habits. And so one thing that I found that makes me sad is, like, just for example, staying up late. I know that it's going to happen soon and that something's going to click and I'm going to stop staying up late and get to bed on time. So when I stay up late, like, I don't feel bad because I know there's going to be a happy ending. Whereas it used to be that I would feel bad about staying up late because I didn't know there was going to be a happy ending. I didn't know that I would ever actually finally break my bad habit and get to bed on time. So I'm wondering if that's something like that is being thrown into the mix here. And consequences have just kind of become nothing to me, and I'm wondering if I'm not feeling remorse for my possible actions when I should. I don't know. I'm not super worried about it. Also, I would say that Kiwi had a relatively good life. He had a pretty good time with my friend Ammon, where he started with, and I think he had an okay time over here. There were a few times where I took them with me into the bathtub, and they got to just enjoy the moist room to get a little bit cleaner, which is a good thing, actually, and they seem to enjoy that a bit. And the other thing, too, that's now there's just Coco. So kind of sort of like when I had Green all alone, she was the last bird. I think now Coco has a choice, either bond with us or be alone. But then also, I don't know if I'm going to actually take the time to take her out and whatnot. And, like, if I found somebody right now who would spend really good time with Coco and I know would do a good job, I would pass her off right now. I mean, provided that would be like the best thing for her. If it would still be better for her to stay here in her familiar environment and get the little care that she does, then I would do that. But I would happily get rid of somebody else who would actually spend time with her, because I think I'm actually ready to take a break from birds. Except, well, I do kind of want another cockatiel, because I really like cockatiels over parakeets. But I don't know. So that's pretty much it for this stream. Sad news. But yeah. Now, it could also be like sickness too, I'll say, really quickly. Maybe he was sick and I didn't notice. That's a possibility. That was something that came up when I asked on the Birdtrix Facebook group if calling Jima might have had her not die. I'm 100% positive that she died because she missed me so much when I went to my step-grandfather's funeral that she got sick. But everybody there wasn't so sure about that. They were asking other questions and whatnot. And eventually someone did say, it doesn't hurt to call them. I've done it for my animals and they seem happy about it. So, yeah. But a lot of people were saying, well, maybe what about this? Did you check that? Could the new parakeets have gotten Jima sick? So there's a possibility of sickness out there. I think it could have been a hunger thing in this case, but then it also makes me wonder why Coco is still there. So yeah, I'm gonna cut here, and then go change seed and put him in the freezer in a jar. And then I will come back though if Kwiw flies down and starts eating seeds right now, which is an indication that she's hungry. So maybe I'll see you guys in a bit, maybe I won't.